Hello. The proposition attempts to make the point that educating children about the harmful effects of these sugary products instead of simply reducing the availability of these products is hypocritical. However, before I remind the proposition about the main points of the opposition, it is important to dissect the validity of the proposition's arguments. The analysis of the article that involves the study of Norwegian high school students is flawed, yes. The opposition is aware of the harmful effects of soda consumption and the devastating effects it has on childhood obesity. However, the opposition never affirmed that the effects of soda have any type of psychological implications, and the strong bias of the experiment points this out. For this reason, the findings of this experiment should be dismissed. The proposition also points out the harmful effects of pouring contracts and makes the point that if sugary drinks could be banned in schools, the money that would normally be used by the government to combat obesity would be used instead to assist in the improvement of physical education among students. However, the money that would be saved in health costs by the government does not necessarily outweigh the direct profits that schools gain from these pouring contracts. The proposition has agreed that the education among children concerning the effects of these harmful products is just as important as banning them altogether. However, to assume that the banning of sugary drinks will lead to a surplus in government spending that will be allocated to schools, districts, and only be used for the purpose of physical education is a grand assumption to make. However, the profits of schools from these pouring contracts are being used directly to the cause of combating childhood obesity, as the opposition has previously pointed out. Michael C. Beretta, the communications director for the Center for Consumer Freedom, a non-profit organization that represents restaurants and food companies, points out the true effects of pouring contracts. As he states, the irony is that most of the money from these contracts helps pay for after-school programs and sports, things that arguably do more to prevent obesity than soda bans. The proposition points out that the main topic of this debate is to determine whether or not reducing the availability of sugary drinks will lead to a decrease in sugary drink consumption. While this is a valid point, the proposition refuses to respond to the points that refute its findings of how the banning of sugary drinks decreases overall soda consumption. The proposition makes the point that there are statistics reported by CBS Boston that show how sugar-sweetened beverage consumption inside Boston schools fell from 1.71 average servings per day in 2004 to 1.38 servings in 2006. However, the opposition points out that while there is an obvious decrease in soda consumption in one city, there actually has not been a strong correlation between the banning of soda in schools and a decrease in overall soda consumption. According to the American Beverage Association, in 2006 to 2007, about 85% of 8th graders said that they consumed sugary drinks at least once a week, regardless of the state policy, and 26% to 33% of these same students reported drinking soda daily. So, due to the proposition's refusal to respond to this argument, I am inclined to assume that the proposition agrees with these findings and that the banning of sugary drinks in schools does not lead to an overall decrease in the consumption of sugary drinks. So the opposition is inclined to assume that the argument regarding the ban of sugary products and how it, in fact, does not lead to a decrease in soda consumption must be accepted by the judge. Due to the fact that the proposition refers to how the banning of sugary drinks in schools will lead to a decrease in overall consumption as the main topic of the debate, the opposition sees it fit for the judge to decide in favor of the opposition.